When I woke up this morning, I knew exactly what I had to do. I had my to-do list, I had my tasks, and even though it's the weekend, I know that I have to make a YouTube video and a live stream video for my Instagram. This month, I am challenging myself and I am doing a live video every day on my Instagram. Make sure to check the link below. And I discuss topics related to self-improvement, personal and professional development, which I am so passionate about. So my plan was clear. My tasks, they're not so many, but also make 2 videos today. Except that there's a problem. I don't feel like it. It's Sunday, the day to rest. My mind was coming up with so many excuses why I should dodge work today. And one thing is clear, I absolutely had no motivation whatsoever. What I really want to do today, even now, is I want to stay in bed. I want to watch a movie and I want to spend time with my family. But instead, I got up and I started working. And here's why. When it comes to getting something done, there are 2 ways to kick ourselves into gear. The first one is motivation. You know, that feeling where you feel powerful and you want to take the bull by the horns, where you are enthusiastic and you feel involved and you feel skillful and significant, and oh my God, I love that feeling. But then there's a second one, less popular and less used method, and that is self-discipline. Not so sexy, is it? And it's also not the easy option either. We humans want to do things that feel good and we want to avoid what feels bad. Working on motivated? Good. Working when we don't feel like it? Not so good. And so we procrastinate. When we need to get something done, we rely on our self-control in order to bring ourselves to do the tasks. And when we lack motivation, we believe that our future selves will be more in control and more eager to work. Very often, procrastination has nothing to do with time management. It's not that we don't have time for a task, it's just that we don't feel like it. So let me know if this scenario sounds familiar to you. I have to accomplish this task. I have the time, I'm right in front of my computer, but I don't feel like it. Ooh, a Facebook notification. Let me check that instead, and I'll get to my task later when I'm more in the mood. We delay action because we think we're in the wrong mood to complete the task, and we assume that our mood will change in the future. And this creates the procrastination doom loop. I'll do it later. I'm so unproductive. Maybe if I should start the task, but I don't feel like it. And so if I don't feel like it, then I'll do it later. And it goes on and on and on in a loop. The problem with motivation is that it runs on the assumption that we have to be in a particular mental and emotional state to complete a task. If action is conditional on feelings, waiting to be in the right mood leads to procrastination. Discipline doesn't care about our feelings or circumstances. It doesn't let our excuses or fear dictate our actions, and it doesn't let doubt creep in. If we don't take control of our thoughts and keep our emotions in check, we will soon fall prey to frustration. And don't get me wrong here, motivation is wonderful to take advantage of when it strikes. It gives us an unusual power of focus and productivity, but it can also be counterproductive because enthusiasm, energy, motivation, they are all finite and they all wear off. And when we run out of inspiration and this universe chews, it is the self-discipline that keeps us going and helps us cope with turbulent times. Self-discipline is not easy. And I know because I just failed at my task. This month, I'm working on making a live stream video on my Instagram every day. It is my monthly challenge because I want to build confidence in front of a camera and I also want to build discipline. Everything was going so well, and then I didn't do a video one day this week. I feel guilty and I feel disappointed in some way, even though there is a good reason, but still, discipline talks about separating the feeling, not caring about circumstances. You still do it, no matter what you go through. So yes, I do feel like I failed on some level, but when I look at the bigger picture, I think I am still becoming a more disciplined person regardless of this one incident. I use the 2-day rule, which says never miss 2 days in a row, because that way you can break the flow and the habit won't stick. I'm not proud that I missed a day, but I have to change my mindset. It is actually the combined effort of all the other days that still pull me in the right direction. I can't let that small failure dictate my journey further. It is the totality of the good things that overpowers that one negative experience. So discipline is all about habits. And that leads me to another interesting point. Discipline is not the same as willpower. Willpower is not the primary strategy to accomplish a difficult task. Self-disciplined people don't rely on their willpower, and they can be just as tempted as anyone else. If a person is self-disciplined, it doesn't mean they don't see temptation. It doesn't mean they can easily resist it. So how do they cope with that? They think that it's better to avoid temptation in the first place than to try to resist them. If a person goes into a fast food restaurant, he or she might end up buying some junk food, despite the fact that they are disciplined. And so disciplined people avoid putting themselves in tempting situations. And I know it sounds like self-discipline kills all enjoyment and all excitement in life, but statistically speaking, that's not true. Actually, a study shows that self-disciplined people are in fact happier. The research also revealed that people with higher levels of self-control were able to make better decisions and choose the best options when conflict arose. And also, there's a positive correlation between discipline and financial security and even goal achievement. So that kind of makes sense if you think about it. Self-discipline is born out of the desire to step outside of your comfort zone and become a better person. And you can't expect different results if you do everything the same way you have done up until now. No one said it was easy, but in the end, you do achieve the results you're hoping for. So, for example, instead of watching TV, you are disciplined to go to the gym every day, but you can flaunt those toned abs at the beach and make everyone jealous. But now the important thing is, how do you cultivate discipline? Well, that is done by building habits, by working on yourself as a system, as a whole, not just by tackling and accomplishing goals. And more importantly, you build discipline by starting with small, minuscule, atomic habits, which continuously repeated accumulate into big changes in our lives. Keep it simple. You build discipline by stepping outside of your comfort zone just a little bit. Get comfortable with the uncomfortable, because that's where growth lies. And also avoid temptations. Don't rely on willpower and don't punish yourself. If you missed a date, that's fine. Just don't make a habit out of that. If you don't want to be distracted by temptations, avoid them. And lastly, cut yourself some slack. Being disciplined is not about being superhuman who never fails. It's not about beating yourself up because you achieved less today than you did yesterday. And it's not so rigid. You might fail every now and then, but keep in mind that it's the totality of all your actions that determines the direction in which you will go. So self-discipline is like a muscle. It grows over time with consistent work. Just as you wouldn't expect to be fit from going to the gym once, it's also not realistic to see a huge improvement in self-discipline overnight by practicing it once. And if we talk about self-discipline, I can't help but mention Jocko Willink's book, Discipline Equals Freedom. And there are a lot of great ideas in the book that I absolutely like. But one thing that he talks about consistently is us being in control of our minds. You have to decide that you are going to be in control, that you are going to do what you want to do. Weakness doesn't get a vote. Laziness doesn't get a vote. Sadness doesn't get a vote. Frustration doesn't get a vote. Negativity doesn't get a vote. I hope you guys got this motivation and this inspiration from this video and leverage that. Use that. If you want to start something that you've been putting off for quite some time, use this momentum right now, right here, and get it done, get it started. But then also cultivate self-discipline, because motivation will fade away a couple of minutes after watching this video, or maybe days, I don't know, but it will fade away. It's not meant to last. But self-discipline is here to stay, and it's gonna help us ensure that we take all the necessary steps to push us in the right direction. Make sure to subscribe to my channel, watch my videos. I talk a lot about self-improvement. That's something I'm really, really passionate about, and I'm happy to share my ideas, my findings, and my strategies with you. I hope you're happy and well, and I'll see you next time.